An erection doesn't just disappear overnight, it fades gradually, like a light bulb that once shone brightly and little by little begins to flicker. Many men notice this happening, but don't know where to turn, because almost no one talks about it. And yet, it is precisely this silence that makes the problem worse. The body gives clear signals. The desire is still there, but the response doesn't follow. What used to be quick and automatic now takes longer, falters, or simply doesn't happen. Confidence slips away in seconds, along with the feeling of vitality. It's like waking up in the morning, getting out of bed, but feeling that part of you is still asleep. And this is where something few people know about comes in, a simple method, just 2 minutes long, capable of reawakening that dormant power. We're not talking about medication or artificial solutions. We're talking about a natural stimulus that reignites the circuits of erection and reminds the body of something that never truly disappeared. It was only forgotten. This small detail changes everything, because when a man realizes that his erection can be reactivated, he regains not only firmness, but also confidence. 2 minutes may sound like very little, but it can be enough to turn the key from frustration to vitality. Before we go any further, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Here, every video is made for men who want to take care of their intimate health with seriousness and clarity. And tell me in the comments, do you believe your difficulty is more a matter of the mind or the body? Write one of these 2 words, mind or body. Your answer may help other men reflect on what they're going through as well. 2 minutes. That's the time separating uncertainty from firmness, frustration from confidence. The method I'm about to show you is quick enough to fit easily into your routine, yet deep enough to rekindle something that seemed lost. Think of how a light switch works. The room is dark and silent, and with a single touch, the light spreads instantly. The male body can respond in the same way. The problem isn't a lack of energy, but rather not flipping the right switch. This 2-minute exercise is exactly that switch, a simple stimulus that awakens the erection circuits and restores strength where there was hesitation. And the key lies in its naturalness. It's not a drug, it's not a trick, it's biology applied at the right moment. When the brain receives the correct command, it reorganizes its signals and makes the body respond with greater power. It's like loose wires suddenly being reconnected. The current flows again, and the result appears. The most interesting thing is that these 2 minutes have a cumulative effect. The more you practice, the more the body relearns the path. It's like waking up a dormant muscle, timid at first, but then increasingly vigorous. If you've ever noticed how small details can completely change your performance, you'll understand the impact of this method. 2 minutes may seem like nothing, but when used correctly, they become the trigger that revives what was fading. Before we continue, take a quick step. Hit the like button on this video now. This shows that the topic matters, helps other men find this information, and strengthens our community even more. An erection never starts in the penis. It begins in the brain. It's the brain that decides whether the orchestra will play or if the concert will end before it begins. Picture a room full of musicians waiting for the conductor's baton. The penis is just one of the instruments, the most visible, it's true. But without the conductor, nothing happens. When the brain is aligned, electrical and chemical signals are released in perfect harmony. These signals flow down like musical notes, opening the arteries, increasing blood flow, and transforming desire into rigidity. The result is a complete symphony, where every part of the body plays its role with precision. But even the conductor can miss the rhythm. Stress, fear of failure, insecurity, all of these make the commands arrive broken, out of sync. The body tries to respond, but the melody is lost along the way. It's like watching an orchestra without a conductor. The musicians play, but the sound is chaotic, without harmony. This is the great mistake many men make, believing that erectile weakness is only physical, when often it is the brain that is failing in its role as conductor. And the more pressure and distractions it accumulates, the more confused the performance becomes. The 2-minute method works precisely at this point. It doesn't force the penis to function, but teaches the conductor to regain control of the orchestra. And when the conductor takes charge again, the music returns, firm, clear, and intense, as it should be. Behind every erection there is a silent messenger, dopamine. This neurotransmitter is like an express courier delivering to the brain the command to feel pleasure, motivation, and desire. Without enough dopamine, even the strongest stimulus reaches the body like a faded note, almost illegible. In youth, dopamine circulates in abundance. That's why desire feels automatic, almost impossible to resist. The brain releases the substance and the body responds instantly, effortlessly. But with time, natural production decreases. What was once a mighty river becomes a thin, irregular stream. The effect isn't limited to sexual life. The drop in dopamine reduces drive, enthusiasm, and even the will to do simple, everyday things. The world loses its color, like a painting gradually fading. And within this scenario, male desire also weakens, fading away along with everything else. Stress makes the problem worse. A life full of demands, sleepless nights, and constant worries acts like invisible thieves, draining dopamine before it can reach the pleasure circuits. The result is a sluggish brain that no longer feels urgency in sending signals of arousal. This is where the 2-minute method makes sense. It doesn't create dopamine out of nowhere, but it stimulates the brain to release more of this vital substance. It works like reigniting a spark in a fire that's almost gone out. The flame is still there, but it needs oxygen to come alive again. When dopamine starts circulating in sufficient amounts, the body reacts immediately. Desire awakens, the erection regains firmness, and what once felt distant returns naturally. It's not magic, it's chemistry, it's neuroscience, it's the brain remembering to do what it always knew how to do. The secret of the 2-minute method is not only in what you do, but in when you do it. Right after waking up, the brain goes through a stage called the theta state, a border between sleep and wakefulness. It's a rare moment when the mind hasn't yet been taken over by the day's concerns, and the body is more open to new commands. Think of this moment as freshly plowed soil, clean, moist, ready to receive any seed. What you plant there, in those first hours of the morning, has a greater chance of growing strong. That's why practicing the exercise at this time is so effective. The brain absorbs the stimulus as if it were a priority order, without noise competing for attention. During the rest of the day, the body is already saturated with external stimuli, notifications, responsibilities, stress. In that confusion, any attempt to spark desire meets resistance. But in those minutes right after opening your eyes, the mind still operates at a low frequency, like a calm lake without ripples. Tossing a stone into that lake creates circles that spread wide and deep. The method takes advantage of this malleable state. 2 minutes of practice in this morning window can create a reflex that lasts for hours. Erections come more easily, desire resurfaces spontaneously, and even your mood for the day improves. It's as if this short exercise were the opening chord that sets the tone for the symphony of the hours to come. This timing detail makes the method powerful, because it's not just about the technique, but about the biological context in which it happens. It's about using the body's natural clock to your advantage. When a man understands this, he realizes he doesn't need long sessions or exaggerated effort, just the right moment, when the brain is most receptive, to awaken his potency again. When the method is first practiced, the effects may seem subtle. In the early days, it's common for the body to react timidly, like a muscle that hasn't been used in a long time. But, just like with physical training, consistency changes everything. With each repetition, the brain relearns how to send the right signals, and the body begins to respond with more firmness and naturalness. It's like waking up an electrical circuit that has been switched off for months. At first, the current passes with difficulty, weak and unstable, but as the wires heat up and the connection strengthens, energy starts to flow without interruption. The penis, which once hesitated to become firm, begins to react faster and with greater intensity. What's most curious is that this transformation doesn't only happen in bed. Small signs appear in daily life, sharper thoughts, greater interest in situations that once seemed indifferent. Even a touch or a conversation regains the power to spark arousal. It's the brain reconditioned, giving the body back the spontaneity that seemed lost. Over time, the reflex becomes automatic. What once required conscious effort now happens naturally, as if the body had remembered a forgotten skill. At this point, many men report not only firmer erections, but also a renewed confidence. The mind stops working against them and starts working in their favor, while the body confirms the change with clear physical responses. This process proves that an erection is not just an isolated event, but the result of an entire system reorganizing itself. When the brain regains control and neurotransmitters flow again, the body has no choice but to follow the command. And this obedience translates into vitality, potency, and real pleasure. Recovering an erection goes far beyond a physical act. It means regaining confidence, vitality, and even a part of masculine identity that seemed lost. When a man once again feels his body respond, he not only rediscovers potency, but also the assurance of looking at himself without doubt, without fear of failure. Intimate confidence is not rebuilt overnight, but brick by brick. The 2-minute method is the first of those bricks, small, quick, but solid. It proves that there is still a latent strength within you, ready to be awakened. And once that certainty takes hold, the reflex shows up in every area of life, in relationships, in mood, in enthusiasm for the simplest things. It's like restoring an old house. At first, everything looks worn down, but as cracks are repaired and the structure reinforced, solidity returns. Erections follow the same logic. It's not about instant perfection, but about consistency and reconstruction. And with every practice, every stimulus, the body relearns the path to firmness. If you've made it this far, it's because you've decided not to accept the decline of your potency as something inevitable, and that is already the biggest step. Now, I want to invite you to continue this journey with me. Subscribe to the channel to receive the upcoming videos, where I'll share more techniques, strategies, and knowledge that can transform your intimate life. Also, don't forget to like this video. It helps bring this message to thousands of other men facing the same challenge. And don't stop here. Explore the other content on the channel, which complements everything you've learned today. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Taking care of your sexual health means taking care of your essence. I'll see you in the next video. Until then.